What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another classic WoW video for Season of Discovery. Today we're talking about gold making, and we're doing this for phase 2 and what you can do to prep right now to make gold in phase 2. Basically, it's an investment video and it's my third one, so we're covering the third round of investment, where beforehand I've covered my favorite investments, the professional investments, and today we're doing a sprinkle on top basically, talking about some investments, some of which I haven't heard anyone talk about, and some of which might be obvious, but some of which are kind of hidden as well. Basically, I'm doing another round of investments where I'm giving you the best tips and tricks that I personally have when it comes to gold that you can spend right now and then get more gold back in phase 2 as well. Either way, let's get into it boys. Before we do though, if you want to have early access to all investment videos, all gold making videos, and just every information that I have when I have it available in Season of Discovery, then please consider checking out my Season of Discovery gold making guide in the link in the description down below in the pinned comment and the video description. This is a gold making guide for all of Classic WoW, so you can use it in hardcore Classic era and Season of Discovery. And the beautiful thing is, not only do you just get the guide, which by the way contains 134 pages, 50 gold farms, multiple investments, how to make gold with professions, specific advice for phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and so on. You get access to a private Discord server, and over here I will give you the best tips and tricks that I have, as well as give you early access to these videos, so you get all of this with one purchase, including free updates. So when the guide get updated, you will get those for free, and once again many of the updates are made on Discord and you get access to them the instant they're posted. Either way, with that being said, let's take a look at some investments you can make right now in phase 1 and capitalize on in phase 2. These are going to be somewhat speculative, but in the past most of my investments have been successful. That being said, if half of them are successful, you will usually make a profit, but because the success usually far outweighs the negative ones or the failed investments. So for me, investing in items for phases, it's just been really profitable, and it's such a good way to make gold, especially if you think ahead of what's coming in phase 2 and make your investments based on what's in demand in phase 2. With that in mind, we have a couple of really obvious items that will go up in price in phase 2, starting off with this one right here. Actually no, that's not. We can start with Jade. There's a reason why Jade is going to go up in price, and that is mainly because it's the objective of a quest that every single mage will want to do, called Items of Power. This is basically the mage class quest that you will get access to in phase 2, and every single mage, and trust me, we have a lot of them, like mage boosting being a thing, we do have a lot of mages, they had to have one Jade each. Just like baseline. That's like a baseline demand for Jade right there. On top of that, it's used in multiple crafts that will become available in phase 2. For example, Accurate Scope. This one right here, increasing damage by 3 for guns. Uses a Jade and citrine, then also a bronze tube, accessible with engineering skill of 180. We can also have Discombobulator Ray that you can use right here as well, that we currently can have access to with 160 skill. We have Dreamweave Circlet, but that requires too much skill. That being said, we have Frost Tiger Blade, and here's where the speculation comes into play. We do not know what the wavered supplies are going to require in phase 2. Like, I'm very heavily guessing we had level 10 supplies and level 25 supplies in phase 1, which makes me think at least we get one more tier of wavered supplies when phase 2 comes out, like level 30 supplies for example, and maybe level 40 supplies as well, and we don't know which craft are going to be used in those supplies. The only thing we can do is take the items we currently require for the supplies and use them as a guessing point. So Frost Tiger Blade could be in heavy demand because of wavered supplies as an example, or it could just be in demand for some other weird reason as well. It's also used in Gem-Studded Leather Belt, Gnomish Battle Chicken, Gnomish Cloaking Device, Shrink Ray, and just a bunch of other crafts that can be useful. Even Green Lens. So yeah, there's a bunch of reasons why you want to have Jades, and they're really cheap right now. I've been able to pick them up for about 8 silver each. They have a vendor price of 7, so best case scenario, they go up in price. Worst case scenario, I lose 1 silver per item, which to me, I can definitely handle. If you, let's just say you buy 100 Jades and they double in price, you make 8 silver profit per Jade. only by doubling their price, but if the investment absolutely fails, you lose 1 gold in total, like 1 silver per jade, and you have 100 of them. The upside potential here is just way too good, and the downside is just way too small. The risk to reward ratio favors the reward ratio massively. Item number 2 on my list is the turtle meat, and this one is used in one quest in Hillsbrad Foothills that everyone will have access to, and you want to hand in 10 of the turtle meat for a quest called Soothing Turtle Bisque right here in wetlands, really, Hillsbrad Foothills. So you want to hand this in. As you can see, Alliance has their quest and Horde has their quest, and both of them require the exact same thing, give the exact same reward, and it's a really easy quest to do, and people want to do this. They want to have these materials on hand when phase 2 comes out as part of their phase 2 prep, because they're gonna hand in quests to get to level 27 or 28, and then they can hand in this quest as well when they get to level 28. As you can see, the required level for this one is level 28 right here. So when you're level 28 and you're going to Hillsbrad anyway to farm SM, for example, you can hand in this quest for a free 2.5k experience. On top of that, it's used in crafting the Soothing Turtle Bisque, and I want to bring this up because, once again, wavered supplies. We do not know what is going to be in demand, but what we have learned from phase 1 is that cooking recipes and the cooking crafts that are used in the supplies, they are so profitable. Think about bear meat and smoked bear meat, for example. They have been such a good gold maker throughout all of phase 1, so if this one happens to be used in wavered supplies as well, the profit margins are going to absolutely skyrocket. But even if it's not used in a wavered supply, every single player wants to have 10 of them, and right now they are very cheap. They're vendoring for 87 silver, 87 copper, and I've been able to pick them up for 1 silver and 10 copper. Really close to the vendor price once again, and the upside potential is just massive. Once again, the demand is there, everyone wants to have 10 of them at least, and then if it's used in a craft that could be profitable, like wavered supplies, that is just going to go up even further. Next up we have the Lesser Moonstones, and they're also used in a bunch of crafts, and it's just something I'm buying because it's very cheap. It's almost down to vendor price. Once again, really depends on your server, but for me it's really close to vendor price, and it's just used in a bunch of crafts that could end up becoming profitable in phase 2. As you can see here, a bunch of engineering and blacksmithing crafts as always, and if you look at this, the Hardened Iron Sword could be used in, for example, wavered supplies. The Heavy Mithril Pants could be used in wavered supplies. I can really see this one being used, by the way. I don't know why, it's just 210 blacksmithing. I can see this being used in one of the highest tier supplies that are available. You also have the Iron Counterweight requiring 1 moonstone each with 165 blacksmithing requirement, and we have the Moonsteel Broadsword, which will, by the way, create a constant demand because that one's used in a quest that you can hand in 1,000, not 1,000 needles, what is it called again? Dustwallow? Yeah, Dustwallow Marsh, where you can hand in a quest for the Moonsteel Broadsword. So it's gonna have a constant demand because of that, and then all the crafts on top. Just very speculative, but once again, the upside potential is just way too good, and the downside, like, I'm almost getting my gold back from vendoring this item, so there is almost no downside to this. Next up, this one has a lot more downside, that is Citrine, and they are not close to vendor price. They've already gone up to a gold each, and then they went down to 30 silver again, so if they keep going down, I might invest into more of them. I bought them for about 20 silver each back in the day, like I say back in the day, a couple of weeks ago, and as you can see, they're using a bunch of really good crafts. Once again, the accurate scope, we have them in all of the engineering crafts, like the goggles for example, the bright eye goggles, craftsman's monocle, the fire goggles. They're just using so many good crafts, man. Goblin destruction helmet, all of the goblin helmets, like the goblin mining helmet, and just a bunch of crafts. Once again, really required in engineering crafts and also blacksmithing. So this one is just a very good investment overall, especially if you can get it cheap enough. Then we have Blackmouth Oil. This one is kind of known by now, but it's just a free action potion material that is used in free action potions. So either buy the Blackmouth Oil, as you can see right here, or buy the Oily Blackmouth. Whichever one you buy doesn't really matter too much, and it's mainly because it's used in the free action potion, which will keep its value. It's basically an item that is in demand in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Every single phase this potion will be in demand, and for PvP reasons, it could go up in demand in phase 2. That being said, if we don't have an ability like Kelris with the Shadowy Chains, then it will go down in demand for PvE, but the PvP demand might just make up for that. Based on that, you should also buy Strangle Kelp, which I have talked about before. I'm just going to repeat that real quick, because these are also used in the exact same thing. Once again, reagent 4, you can see it's used in the free action potion, as I just said. It's also used in crafting the mana potions, the regular mana potions, and if this becomes a thing, then nature protection potions as well also use the Strangle Kelp. On top of that, the main reason you want to buy Strangle Kelp right now is probably Elixirs of Agility. These ones gives you 15 agility, and it's probably going to be the best consumable for both warriors, paladins, rogues, hunters, enhancement shamans, feral druids. Almost all the DPS are going to use this agility or use the elixir, so this one could really drive the demand for Strangle Kelps really up in price, and they're just so cheap right now. So for me, this one seems like a no-brainer, and it's just a safe way to store your gold and get some return. It's not gonna quadruple in price, I think, but it could double in price sometime in phase 2. The next item you can buy right now to make some gold, either in phase 2 or phase 3, I'm gonna put that out there, is the Firefin Snapper, or alternatively, Fire Oil. Basically the same thing. Fire Oil is made from Firefin Snappers, so buy whichever one of these two you personally want, whichever one is the cheapest one basically. But Firefin Snappers, you can use 2 of them to make 1 oil, so the price of oil should be twice as much as the price of the fish itself, and then the oil is further used in crafting a bunch of good things. For example, the Crimson Silk Cloak, but moreover the Crimson Silk Gloves. Look at these, they have intellect and also fire damage done. Mages usually go fire for DPS, warlocks go destruction for DPS, so we have a bunch of demand for fire spell damage gear, especially with intellect as well. Then we have the Crimson Silk Shoulders as well. On top of that, we also have the Elixir of Greater Firepower. That one requires 250 alchemy though, so that one should be available in phase 3, meaning this is a safe investment to either get your gold back in phase 2 or phase 3. We also have them used in fire protection potions, the regular ones all the way down here as you can see, and they're used with a small flame sack and also fire oil, requiring 165 alchemy. That one is very speculative because we don't know what the raid is going to be like normally. We don't know if there's any fire mechanics we need to deal with, but if there is, this potion could be so profitable, and it could skyrocket the materials or the price of the materials, both for small flame sack and also fire oil. So this one is just a very safe investment, and also could skyrocket, just based on a couple of criterias. But you can get your gold back in phase 2 by selling either regular firepower elixirs or Crimson Silk Gloves, or you can get your gold back in phase 3 by selling the greater firepower elixirs as well. Speaking of elixirs and stuff and fish, you can also buy the Stone Scale Eel. This one to me seems like a very safe investment. Once again, you're not going to 10 times your gold on this one, but you can easily double your gold, maybe even triple it. It really depends on how the market plays out, but you can at least double your gold, either in phase 2 or phase 3. Once again, really depends, but it's used in multiple crafts. Scrolling down here, you can see it's a reagent 4, Stone Scale Oil, which is going to be further used in several crafts. As you can see right here, by scrolling down on Stone Scale Oil, we can see it's a reagent 4, Elixir of Superior Defense, Flask of Petri, Flask of the Titans, and Greater Stone Shield Potion. That being said, all of those requires a bunch of skill, so if the theory here is correct, where 225 is going to be the cap in phase 2, then we can't make any of these in phase 2, but we can make all of them in phase 3, and they're going to be so useful for pretty much absolutely everyone. It's also an objective, as you can see here, from the Ectoplasmic Distiller, as you can see right there, from Tanaris, for 6.6k experience and a level 58 quest. Now I know this video has gone on for quite a bit already, but we only have 3 more items to go through, and this one is very quick. It's Swift Thistle. That's an item that can easily double in price in phase 2, maybe even more. Kinda depends on the server for you right now and their current price, but for me they're about 5 silver each last time I checked, so you can actually 5, or what am I saying, dude? They're 15. There we go, much better. 15 silver each, and their price could double, could triple, really depends on your price, your server's price, the economy on your server and everything, but they're used in a couple of items that will have steady demand in every single phase. This is not just a phase 2 investment, it's a phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6. It's basically a decent investment to make right now, and then just cash out whenever you see profits that you're happy with. It's used in swiftness potions and swim speed potions, utility potions, that will always be in demand, but also Thistle Tea. As you can see, this one will obviously be used by rogues, so Thistle Tea used by rogues gives them 100 energy back on a 5-minute cooldown. It's something you use to pump in raids, and if we know anything from Classic WoW, people love to parse and they love to pump. So Thistle Tea, really good once again, and it's just a consumable that people use for raids, requiring 1 Swift Thistle and the refreshing spring water, so it's just gonna give this material, or the Swift Thistle, a steady demand throughout the entire game's lifespan. One more item to talk about here is the Black Pearl. As you can see right here, the Black Pearl. This one is gonna be used for a couple of reasons, but there's one major one that I'm investing in it for. As you can see right here, it's used in many different crafts. For example, Big Black Mace for 230 blacksmithing, which you might be able to obtain, even though 225 is going to be the kind of theory crafted cap here. We also have this one for the, yeah, that's the big one. We have Shadow Skin Gloves, as you can see, for 200 leatherworking, giving you 6 stamina, and a whole 1% crit chance, which could actually be huge, by the way. But the reason why I'm buying the Black Pearls is that every single one with enchanting wants to have 1 Black Pearl for the Runed True Silver Rod. The best in slot enchants that you can make in phase 2, they will need this rod to make that enchant. Sure, if you have enchanting just to disenchant stuff, you don't need this rod to disenchant anything, but to make and do the best enchants in phase 2, you need to have this rod, which will give Black Pearls a pretty constant demand in phase 2 if you ask me. That being said, as you can see, there's not that many crafts using the pearls. I wouldn't buy 100 pearls, but buy like 10 or 15 of them. Maybe even more, but don't go overboard. Instead of putting all your eggs into the Black Pearl basket, just have it be a part of your investments, but don't have it be the main one, if that makes sense. Now this last one is very speculative, and it's the Holy Shroud. It's a level 27 item, but look at that amount of healing done. Increases healing done by spells and effects by up to 33, and also gives you 6 spirit. The healing you get from this headpiece is absolutely insane. It is almost combated by the Uldaman Papal Fess, which I think is going to be better, but that one is going to be very expensive. So the Holy Shroud, for example, could be your second bis, or your second pre-raid bis, for example, and now you can pick that up for about 50 gold on my server. While as the Papal Fess could be a little bit better for you, it has less healing but actually has some intellect. That one I think is going to sell for 500 gold plus, because it's a super rare item from Uldaman Trash only. While this one you can pick up right now, and there's 3 of them available on my auction house at this very moment, so this one could be a decent investment. That being said, pay real close attention to the price on your server and try to get it as cheap as possible. What I will personally say is that my price point for this item is 50 gold, so if I see it for cheaper than 50, then I will consider buying, and what I usually do is I'm trying to slash Hue and Whisper whoever has the auction to try to get it cheaper. The cheaper you get it, the more profit you make, obviously, that kind of makes sense, but just have a price point, and this price point will be different from server to server, so me telling you 50 gold doesn't really give you anything, but if nothing else it gives you my price, and then you can just make your own price depending on your market on the server that you're playing on. Either way, this one could be really huge in phase 2. It's an absolutely massive healing item. That being said, notice how there's no intellect, and it could be very speculative, because once again we could get some absolutely insane tier sets in phase 2 that we don't know about just yet. Either way, pretty solid investment if you ask me, but it's a bit of a risky one. And those are all the investments that I'm personally making. Well, those are the new investments that I haven't talked about. That being said, we have 2 other videos also talking about investments for phase 2, so if you haven't checked those out yet, please do so. And if you want to have access to all of my investments, then once again, check out my gold making guide in the link in the description down below or the pinned comment. I will also make a video showcasing all of my investments, how much gold I have in those investments, and just giving you my whole investment portfolio in a video format. You will also get early access to that video by having the guide, just so that's said. Either way, that's the video for today. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below and let me know in the comments if you made it all the way till the end. In that case, it's been 19 minutes and 20 seconds. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace out.